Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Sarah Crothers, and I work for Schuylkill River Greenways National Heritage Area. Today, this video is going to lead you through our first activity in our Take-Home Schuylkill Explorers Kit, titled Plant Growth. So we're going to plant some seeds and see how the sun affects their growth, and learn a little bit about how seeds germinate. So here I have my Schuylkill Explorers Take-Home Kit. If you have yours, be sure to get out your Aster seeds. Aster is a flower that is native to Pennsylvania, which means that it's great natural food for our pollinators that live in our state. We have 2 biodegradable pots that we'll need. We like to use biodegradable instead of plastic to reduce the amount of plastic that we put into the environment. And these pots can be directly planted outside once your seeds sprout indoors. We need a bag of potting soil. So if you reach in, you'll have a bag of soil. And then we need some water. So water's not available in your kit, just get some from your tap and it'll be good to go. We also need a draining tray of some sort, Tupperware. Here I'm using a baking tray. A cookie sheet would work really well. Anything to just capture some water if it flows over. And we need a sunny window to place our pots by when we're done. A nature journal and a pen and pencil is also really helpful to track observations throughout the days of when your plants are growing. So first, let's understand what seeds need to sprout or germinate. So what do you observe about plants outside? What do you think plants need to grow? And do you think the amount of sunlight a plant receives affects its growth? So just think on those questions for a little bit. We're going to set up this experiment so that we're going to pot them the same way, plant them the same way, but at the end, we're going to put one of our pots on a windowsill, very close to the sun, and then one of our pots will be away from the windowsill, not receiving as much sun as pot A. So germination is a scientific word that details when a seed sprouts and turns into a plant. So first, the seed will kind of begin to sprout and create roots so that the roots can draw nutrients and water from the soil. And then a seedling will sprout, which is the beginning of the plant part that we see above ground, that will begin to grow leaves and photosynthesize, which means creating food from the sun's energy, and begin to grow and provide itself with energy. So let's place our pots in our tray. Let's fill our pots up with some potting soil. So I'm just going to dump it in here. Let's see, but this is the tray is good to have so that you can catch any dirt or soil you might spill as well. We can just put our soil in there, press it down a little bit. Fill it up basically all the way, just because our aster seeds are very small. So here you can see I have just a little bit not filled. So then we're going to put our seeds on the soil. So we're going to use half for one pot, half for the other. So just gently kind of sprinkle them onto the soil. So you can see here, I just sprinkled them on, and then here I'll sprinkle them again. And I have some left over. I'm going to actually keep these and maybe plant them in another pot or put them outside. I have a lot of soil here, so I might run this experiment again. There's plenty of seeds there, we don't need more. Oh, so once you have your seeds set, I would reach in, grab some soil, and kind of sprinkle it on top. You don't want to cover them up too much, you just want to cover it up lightly so that you can't see your seeds anymore. But you don't want to cover them too much because they like to receive some sun. Let's gently water both of our pots. So I wrote in the directions it's 2 or 3 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to use my eye. And you just want to gently do it so that it's a little moist. If you find that you maybe did that amount of water and it's not wet enough, feel free to add more in. When you touch it, your finger to it, you want to feel some water on it. That looks great. So that was simple. Now our pots are ready to go. Our seeds are planted. And we're going to pay attention. We're going to put one by a sunny windowsill, the sunniest windowsill you can find. I recommend putting something under this because you're going to water it, and water might seep out. So maybe a little plate or a small bowl, just something that this can sit on that will help protect whatever it's sitting on if it's a windowsill. And same here, you want to put maybe a plate under this. And you're going to put this about 6 feet away from the window. This is good because you start to feel the water coming through. That means I watered it enough. You see how it's kind of getting wet. So you're going to put it like 6 feet away from the window to have there be a difference between this one pot and then this other pot. Observe your pots daily. So it's going to take a while for your seeds to sprout. It could take from 7 to 21 days, which is 3 weeks. So it's kind of a lengthy process, but it'll be worth it, I promise you. Remember to water whenever it feels dry. So just every day, just kind of go up and tap your finger, just tap it on the soil and say, is there soil sticking to my finger? Yes, so it's plenty wet. And if it's too dry, if you find that, you know, it's kind of crumbly, make sure you water it nicely so that our seeds can start to germinate and sprout. And just pay attention to the differences. You might notice that the one receiving more sun might act differently. It might sprout sooner. It might grow bigger. So just keep an eye on them and write down in your journal how many days it took for your seed to grow, what one is doing better, the one that's further away, the one that's closer away. Plants are really interesting and they're all very different. Some of them like to receive lots of sun. Others like to be in partial shade and not receive too much sun. So we're going to see what happens with these. So once they're nice and sprouted and you see a plant, right, you see it green and leaves, you can kind of take care of them inside, but I highly recommend you plant them outside. If you look at page 2 of our experiment or activity, it has some great information about aster flowers and the germination and sprouting of seeds, what happens. And here it details how asters are native flowers to Pennsylvania. And once they're anywhere from, 6 to 12 inches tall, you can plant them outside. I would find a sunny spot, use a little shovel or a spoon and dig some soil out of the ground, and then you can plant this whole entire pot right into the ground. You could just plant the whole thing, and this will eventually biodegrade and turn into soil as well, and your plant will grow and be outside and grow year after year. They are a perennial plant, which means that they come back every single year, whereas an annual plant only blooms for 1 year. So this plant will come back every year and be a great source of food to all of our friendly pollinator species. These species are really important because they help pollinate plants, which means that they help plants reproduce and help spread their seed around an area so that there's even more plants. They also help our vegetables and fruits and just any food crop produce the fruits and vegetables we love the most, like apples, eggplant, carrots, whatever you need, whatever we eat. Our pollinators play a major role in that. So it's really important we help them live happy, healthy lives. So have fun. I hope you learned from this activity, and I hope that you have great success with your seeds and that they sprout as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed this activity and that you enjoy the rest of your School Explorer kit. Thanks for watching and have a great day.